After 2 long off weeks away, it is finally next night in America, baby. Welcome back to Vidane TV. Little Tuesday, just kidding, a little Thursday night racing action here with the New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series. Showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. down here in the broadcast booth alongside me. Hey, Ron, Aaron Creed. Aaron, we're in Kansas. This is going to be a big one. Brewing, wow, easy enough for me to say. Reverie Brewing Company giving us the Beer Bash 65 here tonight at Kansas. Going to be a lot of fun, I think.
Oh, it's going to be a good one. The first of a couple consecutive races on these mile-and-a-half intermediate tracks, and kind of getting into the bread and butter of the racing season. Had 4 races so far on 4 different racetracks. Completely different racetracks for sure, different layouts. And yeah, we're going to see if we can have another new winner or if someone else is going to repeat. We haven't seen that 09 in victory lane just yet during this season. And looks like we kind of have a somewhat, well, we're still qualifying right now. I was going to say we have a somewhat light field, but we're still getting some out there.
Yeah, 23 drivers taking time so far as we're getting wrapped up with qualifying. And speaking of those point standings, Kenny Kimby coming into the tonight with a 1-point lead over Reagan Parent. Then it's 19 points back to Evan Bollier, who sits in third. And then it's another handful of points or so back to Corey Casagrande, Steve Daddio, Jason Ricker, Brent Roy, John Peters, all within 2 or 3 points of each other up in the top 8 or so. Scott McDonald, Dale Glessner all in the top 10 coming in tonight in the points as well. So still early on in the season, and we're still concentrating on points, though. We made mention that the 09 car still not in a victory lane here tonight, or this season rather, but still long ways to go and a short time to get there, and it looks like we're just getting qualifying wrapped up.
Yes, we are, and one of those drivers to watch is surely going to be starting on the pole, Steve Daddio, and he was quickest in the open test earlier in the week too. So definitely one to watch here. He's currently sitting 5th in points. He'll be one to watch with Evan Bollier starting alongside in the number 56.
Row number 2 is going to see that number 1 car of Ryan Messer on the inside with Kenny Kibbe in the 4 car starting at P4.
And in row 3, we have Zane Farrell on the inside. A great qualifying run for the 14. He's been off to a pretty rough start in this season, looking to turn that around. And then we got John Peters on the outside in the 09.
A couple of fast drivers here in this next row. Jason Ricker in the 9 car going to start P7 with Mr. Corey Casagrande starting P8.
And then in row 5, we got the second Canadian in the field, Brent Roy, and Brandon Hughouse with a good top 10 starting spot.
Scott McDonald in the double 4 going to start the double 1. 11th place for McDonald, and Ryan Libby going to start the 46 machine in P12.
And as we take a look at the rest of the starting lineup, hey, let's go by row to row since they're just firing off a pit road here. Matt Chinosky starting 13th. Dylan Kopak starting in 14th. Good to see them a little further up in the order in the starting order. We'll see them trying to crack into the top 10 here later.
Ryan Salvatore bringing that number 12 car in with a 15th place qualifying effort. Be sure to check him out over on YouTube, RSal TV. Brian Ship going to start the 48 car, P16.
And in row number 9, John Miller was off to a fast start this season. He'll look to continue that momentum. And then Michael Hopkins. How about Mike and the Michelle Hopkins in the 78? How about him getting a top 10 run last time out?
Yeah, great run for the 78 crew. Austin Belke in the 24 going to start P19, and rounding out the field going to be Cody LeBlanc, Kyle Casagrande, Bobby Ship, Jeff Brown, and Reagan Parent rounding out the field. 24 cars making the call here tonight. The iRacing pace car lights are out, ski. We're getting ready to do a little green flag racing. 65 laps on the docket here at Kansas Speedway, and we wait 2 by 2 all the way through the field. Barney in the flag stand says green flag. Daddio down on the bottom side. Bollier up on the high side.
Looks like Bollier might have the advantage here, but let's see what happens as they go into turn 1. If Daddio can use the inside line here, and it looks like he's going to do just that. Bollier using the outside line and going to try to get the momentum here off of turn 2, but Daddio is going to clear him out front with Ryan Messer looking as he gets into the 2nd spot. He's going to clear Bollier and look for the lead.
Great big cookie cutter racetrack, lots of different racing groups all the way around this track, and we're seeing that already. Drivers going all the way up to that outside safer barrier, giving it a little bit of a scrape on the way by and sending it back on down into the corners. These guys showing some great car control and showing that they can drive pretty much all over this racetrack.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely more than one groove here as you see John Peters in the 09. I believe that's John. It could be his sub. I can't remember what we were told before this race, but we have a lot of drivers just trying to work their way in here. It's a 65 laps, sounds short, but it's a pretty steady amount of laps here. And further back, I'm watching the Regan Parent car. He started shotgun on the field, and we're going to see if he can make his way, and he is making his way pretty far up there already. In the only number 17 tonight, it looks like Keith Lord on his birthday. Maybe he was a little busy celebrating. The happy birthday to him. Unusual not to see Keith in the field tonight, but hope he's having a good time wherever he is. I guess he's not in Kansas anymore. But Regan Parent has moved up from 24th starting spot up to 16th position already. The second place points man, only 1 point short of Kenny Kibbe. Looking to make up that ground after missing qualifying.
Yeah, we may mention 65 laps on the docket here tonight. 65 laps the distance, and it's not quite a super crazy long race, so you definitely got to get all the track position you can as quickly as you can. Up front, still Messer in that one car. Messer now up into the lead. Steve Daddio, Zane Farrell side by side there for second. Kenny Kibbe in the 4 car right up in the mix as well, and Evan Bollier running P5 has a good front row seat to this. And we'll take a little onboard peek here, see what's going through the windshield here in the 56 machine. Just to take a look at that sun glare on the other side of the racetrack as we get down into it. The sun's starting to set here in Kansas, and you can see already as we get into it, blinding light. We're going to be dealing with that for at least a little bit here as we race on into darkness. So definitely going to be something we're going to keep in mind here as the drivers go side by side into these corners.
What's also fun is when they go into that trioval that they can get down on the apron there to try to get some additional speed there. You see Corey Casagrande and Brent Roy battling for position right now. That's inside the top 10. Matt Shanoski up to 10, having a good run. And, yeah, we're going to see what happens here. Ryan Messer, I went to check my notes because I couldn't remember if he's led any laps before in NEP. As we see Dylan Kopech there. Or was that Jason Ricker that brushed the wall? I think it was Kopech. But yeah, Messer actually has led 32 laps on speedways before. So getting some more time up front. We'll see if he can keep it up there with a lot of hungry drivers behind him.
For the most part, everybody kind of single file throughout this one. Ryan Messer still leads. Farrell and Kibbe still the top 3. And throughout the field, kind of easy does it, as it were. Everybody kind of minding their P's and Q's. A lot of give and take early on here at Kansas. These drivers always very much respecting each other. There is a lot of trash talk on Twitter. If you're a little bit busy when it's not a race night, when it's not NEPs night on America, be sure to check out the NEPI Racing and the NEPsBets Twitter accounts and follow along with all the drivers there as well. Lots of trash talk. It definitely makes the day go by quicker here. Taking a peek there at the 3 car, the U-House Racing Designs, number 3, Brandon Newhouse. Run P7, a couple of spots gained before he qualified. Brent Roy right in behind him, and we're still keeping a battle on this latter part of the top 10 here. Good colors, it looks like, for Corey Casagrande in the 7 CT. Matt Shanoski up in there, Jason Ricker 9 in the mix as well, and Dylan Kopech in the 16th, and stealing back out on track.
Yeah, definitely, and a lot of loud colors there going on in the middle of the pack. New paint scheme from Matt Shanoski, too. And, good to see him out there. I believe that's a throwback. I'm trying to think what that's a throwback to, the 42. If it was from the Hooters Pro Cup days, maybe, with Brian Ross. It kind of looks like that. Matt's going to have to back me up on that one. He's a fellow kind of racing historian as well. So, but right now, Matt's holding tight, 12th place. He lost a couple positions there behind them. Ryan Salvatore having a good run. Regan Parent right on his tail, trying to make up some more positions there from the back of the field as he gets by Scott McDonald. John Miller's trying to follow him up through the field as well.
Yeah, that 17 car definitely bad fast, showing why he's second in the point standings coming into the night. And man, oh man, it's Definitely a tall order to go from the back of the pack all the way up toward the front, but 11 laps in, and he's gained 11 spots. So at that rate, may very well see that 17 car battling for the lead and the points lead coming out of Kansas here tonight.
Yeah, definitely the big mover in this race for sure, by far. But look at moving up, Zane Farrell up to second spot, having a great run in the 14 early on. As Kenny Kibbe, the current point leader, following in his tracks in the third spot. Zane trying to keep him behind. But right now we've got Maritime Canada, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Connecticut and Maine, I think, representing the top five. So a very diverse top five running order at the moment.
And it's always cool to see the different personalities, different paint schemes, and different connections to real racing throughout the Northeast and really all over the North American continent. With drivers starting to kind of come in, and as NEPs starts to grow in popularity, it's starting to become almost a household name, as it were. Everybody looking forward to watching NEPs Night in America on Verdane TV here on Thursday nights. And we appreciate you tuning in. We're live all over the place, over on the Verdane TV YouTube page, the Verdane TV Facebook page, as well as Twitch, and we try to get over on TikTok every now and again. And we try and stay active on Twitter as well. So be sure to reach out on us on all the social media outlets and find out when we're going live next. Tomorrow night, big time race, the TCM, Tim's Corner Motorsports 300. I believe it's the 4th annual here on Verdane TV, so really looking forward to that. And this guy is definitely going to be in the field. I believe he's already qualified for it, is Ryan Messer.
Ryan Messer, just definitely a talent, but we've got a yellow flag out on the track right now. And we got one car coming down pit road. That's Regan Parent. Looks like some damage on the back of that car. I think we're going to have to take a look at the U-House Designs instant replay to see what happened.
100%. You can see Regan Parent down on pit road, as is Ryan Libby, it looked like. And I did see a little bit of damage on the back of the 17 car. We'll see if we can pop it up here on that U-House Race Designs instant replay. And keep an eye on that 17 car. Everything looks good at this point. Car still looks relatively straight. And kind of drifts up the racetrack. Everything looks good. Might have backed it up just a little bit too far, but that's okay. Coming into the corner, good line. Gets down, and there you see it. Gets into the apron just a little bit. Nowhere for Miller to go. And Parent does a great job saving it, but unfortunately, trying to get that thing slowed down. There may very well be a speeding penalty on that pit road entry. But that looks like what brought the caution out here for the very first time in Kansas.
Yeah, and there were some other cars that got swept up behind him. It looked like Mike Hopkins was involved. And yeah, tough break. John Miller was using the strategy of following Regan Parent's tracks there, and Parent just kind of slipped up there for a second. And he'll have some ground to make up once again. But we got the leaders coming down pit road now, Messer and Kibbe. I think Zane Farrell stayed out.
Dylan Kopech going to stay out there as well in the number 16 Toyota. So this is going to be interesting. Looks like the Ship brothers, Brian and Bobby, staying out on track as well. Everybody else coming down here on pit road on lap number 16. This is going to be interesting. I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of 2-tire stops, a lot of 4-tire stops, and we may very well see just fuel only.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens here, who comes out first. And, yeah, we'll see what happens here. Oops. I'm dropping things here where I sit. But it looks like coming out front, Ryan Messer. Back where he left off, he's going to have some ground, just a few positions to make up. It looks like, like you said, Farrell, Kopech, and the Ship brothers stayed out. So Ryan Messer likely going to line up on the inside of row 3 for this restart. And, yeah, looks like not too many big losers in the pits, despite running into the back of Parent. John Miller picked up a bunch of spots, so maybe some strategy there for the number 6.
We rejoin the leader here, Zane Farrell in the 14 car. Going to hold on to it on 17-lap tires, 16-lap older tires, as is Dylan Kopech, Brian Ship, Bobby Ship. 4 drivers that stayed out on track. You see him there. Ryan Messer going to be the first car with those fresher tires and that fuel. Going to restart P5. Evan Boyer, Kenny Kibbe, John Peters, Brent Roy, and John Miller going to be the top 10. Taking a look at timing and scoring, it looks like we still have 23 drivers on the lead lap. Ryan Libby's pulled into the garage area. Had feeling a little bit under the weather talking to him earlier on in the race, so Libby feels better. Not going to have a good run here tonight, but sometimes rest is a little bit better than racing.
And I noticed Regan Parent is also in the pits. still. So hopefully he doesn't lose a lap here. He might have. I can't really tell. Scott McDonald's also on pit road. So we'll see what happens here when we re-rack him for the restart. Scott McDonald coming in to fix some damage, it looks like, a little bit. Get some of those fenders away from the tires. You don't want a tire rub here at Kansas Speedway at the fast paces they run into the corners. But when we restart, it's going to be Zane Farrell and Dylan Kopech on the front row, a front row we haven't really seen so far this year.
And then right in behind them, we see the 48 car there, Brian Shipp, Bobby Shipp right next to him, and Ryan Messer. Going to be the first car with fresh tires. So going to be interesting to see this restart here in a lap or so. If Messer's able to really put the hammer down, get those rear tires to hook up, grip the racetrack, and try and get around those guys as quickly as he can, because you figure the longer the run goes on, the closer those newer tires are going to get to the old ones, and you might lose that little bit of an edge that you kind of pick up with the fresher rubber on those tires. So definitely keep an eye out for Messer. I think he's going to be aggressive on this restart.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens. I believe we got the 1-to-go signal here. So, yeah, we're going to see if row 3 can move back up through the pack. I don't think someone like Zane Farrell is going to necessarily be a pushover, though. So, even on slightly older tires, 18 laps, that's not terribly too much time on the tires. But we're going to have to see how big of a difference it is. I was at the Snowball Derby this past weekend, and when you didn't pit and everyone else did, you dropped like a rock. So I don't think we're going to see something like that here at Kansas Speedway, but I could be proven wrong here in just less than half a lap.
A quick caution early on. A good 16-15 lap run here or so in the Reverie Brewing Company Beer Batch 65 here at Kansas Speedway. I want to thank again everybody for tuning in here tonight on a Thursday night of Dane TV. Live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, all that good stuff. Be sure to give us a like, and subscribe, and a share. Let your friends and family know it's NEPs night in America, baby. We're getting ready to go green once again, and there goes the green flag from Barney up in the flag stand, and the two front row drivers on older tires seem to have pulled away just a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like they got a good jump on the second row, Brian and Bobby Shipp. Bobby's dropping back already as we go 3 wide behind them, but Ryan Messer has marched into 4th, and he's going to look to find his way by Brian Shipp as some of the other competitors find their way by Bobby Shipp. Kenny Kibbe getting in the mix of it now. Evan Boyer trying to find his way back by Kibbe, but Kibbe's using that outside line to possibly get by Messer here, and he's going to make it 3 wide. Shipp caught in the middle here. And let's see if Kibbe can roll that momentum into turn 1. It's actually not going to work, but he's going to be able to get by Brian Shipp for position at least. And now everyone trying to get to the inside of Dylan Kopech.
Right on board with that number 4 car of Kenny Kibbe. You can see just how bright that sunset is in the corners. Oh, God, Dylan Kopech up to the outside wall. Been using that high line the past couple of laps to really try and get that car to kind of eat into the racetrack and get it turned in, but he hit that outside wall just a little bit, scuffed up that right-hand side. It seems to have slowed him down just a little bit as John Peters looks down on the inside. Looks like he's going to try and tug around Brent Roy as well. You can see U-House in the 3 car down on the bottom side as well. The drivers using different lines throughout the racetrack. It looks like the low to middle line is still coming out on top for right now, though.
Yeah, definitely. Zane Farrell starting to slide back. He was in the lead, but now Ryan Messer has regained the lead. So but now we're going to see some of this battling going on mid-pack. John Miller trying to stay clean, and we saw what happened when he was on the bumper of someone else. Wasn't of his doing, but we keep seeing some competitors make slight brushes with the wall. I think with Brent Roy this time. And he keeps going, though. And running in 4th spot. Great run for Brent Roy as we ride with Zane Farrell, who has slipped back to 7th. Now Corey Casagrande going to the inside. Jason Ricker fall. So now those tires do appear to be falling off a little bit, but maybe a little bit different pit strategy for Farrell could work out for him in the end.
Yeah, going to leave an extra set of tires down on pit road. You can see sliding all the way back to the bottom half of the top 10, running in P9. He is the 14 car, and you can see he's really kind of feathering the throttle in those corners. Doesn't seem like the rear tires want to grip the racetrack as much. The 42 car going to dip down low. Kyle Casagrande there in the 7. Going to follow him right on through there. So Zane going the wrong way. on those older tires. Up one guy going the right way though, Evan Bollier in that 56, taking a peek down, seeing if he can get up into the lead, get a little kiss to the outside wall. There, Kenny Kibbe in the 4-car going the extreme high side. We got a little triple threat action for the lead.
Yeah, definitely a good battle going on right now. Kenny Kibbe really starting to turn the aggression up as he races for second on the outside of Evan Bollier. Kibbe has a great shot at extending that point lead as Regan Parent has struggled. I believe he's caught a lap down at the moment. But of course, one yellow flag, and he'll be back on the lead lap potentially as long as he ends up being the first car lap down. So we'll see what happens there. Jeff Brown currently running as the last car on the lead lap in 22nd. It's very far from in danger of going a lap down. The top 22 all running within 11 seconds. So great job by everyone as we continue to see this side-by-side battle for second. Kibbe is not giving up in that number 4, and he's close to clearing the number 56 here for that spot and set his sights on the 1 of Ryan Messer. Kibbe has a 3rd, 2nd, and a 1st this year, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, he's definitely the one of them to beat here in this season early on, and continues to be that way. Right now, the 3-time defending champ Peters back in 9th spot. Matt Shinosky running 8th. Great job by him as we see Kyle Casagrande. We haven't talked about him all day, but he's having a great run right now in the top 10.
Yeah, the 007 car qualified outside of the top 20 here. 24 cars on hand taking that green flag. And Kyle's gained about 12 spots here running P9 right now. Up in good company right in front of the defending champion, John Peters. Chasing down the 42 car of Matt Shinosky in the number 42 Toyota. There's a little bit of side-by-side action up in front of them. It looks like he got it all sorted out. Corey Casagrande, Brandon Uhouse doing not quite side-by-side, but you can see Uhouse really trying to utilize that outside line. And I'm really digging that matte black with the red chrome on that 7CT Mustang for sure.
Very good-looking car right there. And Corey's having a great run. He's had a great start to the season with the help of another Corey at our second race of the season, and with the help of Corey Doozer. But great start to the year for him. And a couple positions further back, actually see Brandon Uhouse currently in the top 5, but behind them in the 11th position is Steven Daddio. He has slipped back a good bit right now, but it'll be interesting to see if he is saving his stuff towards the end, or if he only had that short run speed instead of the long run speed when we saw him set the pace in qualifying practice.
Yeah, just outside the top 10 for the 99 car. You can see he's got a little side-by-side action with that 09 car. You can see he makes a big run there on the bottom side. Still big-time sun glare coming into 3 and 4, and that's definitely affecting each and every one of these drivers throughout this race. It should get a little bit better as we get a little bit closer to sunlight here, getting closer and closer to the halfway marker as well. Up front, though, still Ryan Messer, about a 0.4 of a second lead, and these cats are still side-by-side for second. Kenny Kibbe holding on to the high side, finally getting down and around the 56 car. Bollier holding on to P3. Brent Roy right in behind him, Brand Uhouse rounded out the top 5.
Yeah, great pace being set as we near halfway. Right now, we have Corey Casagrande running 6th, Jason Ricker, Matt Shinosky, Kyle Casagrande, and Steven Daddio back into the top 10. Yeah, a lot of great racing going on as you see up front. Kenny Kibbe getting challenged by Evan Bollier once again. These guys have not given up on that second place battle as we ride with Kenny Kibbe in the number 4 now. We ride with Evan Bollier. So Bollier keeps committing to that inside line. Kibbe keeps committing to the outside line, and none of them seem to be giving each other any slack, and that's allowed Brent Roy to catch the two competitors, and he's going to take the inside line here and try to enter this battle, maybe pick up 1, maybe 2 spots.
Yeah, you can see he does a great job getting very, very aggressive down on the bottom of the racetrack, doing everything he can to try and get around the 4 and the 56. Gets around the 4 car at Kibbe, now sets his sight on the back bumper of that number 56 of Bollier. And you can see Bollier's been running that low side for probably the past 5-10 laps or so. But Brent's been running even lower. Last time by, we saw him utilize that apron. Not out of bounds here at Kansas. you can use that as long as you get back onto the racetrack safely. These guys are doing a great job with that. But this second place battle, 3 cars deep, and you can see a little bit further on back, Corey Casagrande having a great run running top 5.
Yeah, definitely a good run, as we've stated a few times tonight. Outside the top 10, we got a good battle going on, I think, for about 11th spot here. Yeah, there's the 7NH of Cody LeBlanc. Haven't talked about him yet in that car, but he has moved into the 11th spot as he gets by Kyle Casagrande, who's slipped back a few spots. So good battle for 11th there. Behind them, Austin Belkey's trying to make up some positions after starting pretty far back in the field in the number 24. Kind of I'd say uncharacteristic, but I think we've seen more often than not lately that he's kind of come from the back of the field to the front. So John Miller currently running 14th as we kind of take ourselves through the field here as we passed halfway. Zane Farrell has slipped all the way back to 15th, and I'm sure he is really hoping that there's a yellow flag sooner or later, or he's going to have to come in and make a green flag stop soon.
I almost feel like the driver chat for that 14 crew is just Zane yelling tires as loud as he can, staying out under that one caution flag that he had. Was able to hold on for a couple of laps, but really started to drop back just a little bit with those older tires. There you see Bobby Ship in the 04 car back there 16th. Dylan Kopech on those older tires as well. He's another guy looking for a caution. Try and get some fresh rubber on that. Ryan Ship in the 48 there as well. 22 cars on the lead lap, all being led by Ryan Messer. That's himself about a little bit better than a 1.5 second lead over this side-by-side battle. Now, Evan Bollier still part of the top 3 battle, but Brent Roy, the new P2 guy.
Yeah, and Kenny Kibbe has slipped back to 5th. Maybe all those laps on the outside line have kind of taken its toll on the tires a little bit, or maybe he's just cooling them off a little bit here and going to make a run for it a little bit later. So we'll see what happens. One driver I wanted to give a call to is Bobby Ship. We were kind of going through the field there, and Bobby was one of the 4 that did not pit. And he's actually ahead of 2 of the cars that did not pit and is keeping up with Zane Farrell. So good job by Bobby Ship. But back up front here, Corey Casagrande running in 4th, having a great run in the number 7 CT. Only 2.5 seconds back from Ryan Messer. So still a long way to go here. If my math is correct, we have 27 to go. That sounds about right.
Sounds about right indeed. You actually saw Messer, the leader, go up and scrape that outside wall just a little bit. As these runs get longer and longer, the tires start to get warmer and warmer. I think these guys are starting to pick up a little bit of rubber debris on those tires. As you can see around the racetrack, it actually builds up here in iRacing. So I think a lot of drivers are starting to kind of lose the back end of the race car. You can see a little bit of damage on the right side of that number 1 car. Doesn't seem to be slowing them down too much. It's still about a 1.2 lead over the 26 car of Brent Roy. That's going to be the Camry kid in that 26 car. Evan Bollier running P3. You made mention Corey Casagrande getting around Kibbe for 4th. Kibbe still holding on to P5.
Yeah, Kibbe's holding on, but Matt Shanoski's coming up quick, running in 6th spot. He's having a great run here at Kansas. In the number 42 machine. So we'll see what he can do and see if he can crack the top 5. Has a little bit of ways to go to catch up to Kenny Kibbe, but I think we might have another round of pit stops before we're done. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely those guys that didn't come down on that caution there about 15, 20 laps or so ago. They're going to be wanting to come down here. They may have to come down under green flag conditions here if this thing stays the way it is. Looks like everybody around the racetrack is pretty well kind of evened out. You can see the 09 and the 9 doing a little bit of battle. Actually outside of the top 10. That's for 11th and 12th place respectively. And back in the top 5 position, Corey Casagrande, there you see in 5th. Kenny Kibbe there in 5th with 25 laps to go.
Yeah, right now, everyone kind of settling in a little bit as we're going to be making a run for the final dash here sooner or later. Right now, though, we're remaining under green, and we do have some cars on pit road deciding to make green flag pit stops.
Almost a half a dozen or so. John Peters in the 09. Zane Farrell going to give up a little bit of track position. Dylan Kopech, John Peter, all coming down pit road. How about some of the leaders as well? Ryan Messer going to come down. Brent Roy, Evan Bollier, Jason Ricker in the 9 car. They're all going to come down pit road. And almost watching those guys towards the back of the pack, mid-pack on back, forcing the hand of some of these quicker drivers, some of the drivers up through the field a little bit better. They don't want to lose any time with these guys getting fresher tires, so they're going to come down about a lap later, and it's going to be interesting to kind of see where everything falls out through these pit stops here. Corey Casagrande taking over the lead, getting him a couple of laps led.
An interesting thing that you mentioned earlier was some of these the 4 drivers that did not pit that first yellow. Now they're on the same sequence as most of these leaders that are coming down pit road. So if there's a late yellow, they have another set of tires to take on. So and maybe can charge through the field. So that is going to make things very interesting as we start to reach near the final 20 laps. And you never know what can happen here with this round of green flag pit stops. Another kind of wrench in all of that is you never know. There could be some kind of issue on track and a yellow that puts everyone that has already pitted a lap down. So right now, though, we're remaining green with Corey Casagrande with about a 1.5 lead on Matt Shanoski. Brandon Newhouse third, Austin Belke fourth, and Cody LeBlanc in fifth as we see Daddio, the pole sitter in this race, coming down pit road with that premium pit stall. And Mike Hopkins saw him get collected in a mix-up earlier, easy for me to say as well. But now we see the leader, Corey Casagrande, coming down pit road, and Matt Shanoski and Brandon Newhouse following.
Cody LeBlanc up in that mix as well. Going to hand the lead over to that 24 machine. Austin Belke going to get himself a couple of laps led. Kyle Casagrande still out on track as well, running in P2. So it's definitely a good run. Still going to have to come down pit road for at least one more time. You see the 99 car of Steve Daddio coming back off, merging back into the pit road, and you can see he has a much quicker car on those newer tires, really able to kind of drive away from Casagrande there in that 7. You can see going by one more time. I think Kyle Casagrande going to try and maybe milk this out, try and get a caution. I think Austin Belke might be on that same strategy.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to see if Belke can stay out there for a little bit longer. You never know. Right now, there's only 7 cars on the lead lap. So if something happens on track, that really puts now Belke's going to say, I'm going to pull it in. One car on the track still, though, is the 27 of Jeff Brown. He has stayed out, and he is currently running in third, probably soon to be second unless he comes in this time by. Belke, we see coming down pit road for his stop as Mike Hopkins does a little burnout coming out of the pits there. Kyle Casagrande currently out front, like we talked about, using that strategy. Jeff Brown currently scored in second, Scott McDonald in third. So Jeff Brown, good run for him, staying on the lead lap of this race. Same with Scott McDonald after suffering a little damage there earlier on. But as the pits cycle, it looks like Brent Roy has been able to get by his fellow Canadian Ryan Messer. And that could be for the eventual lead.
Going to keep a close eye on that as the 26 car stays out in front of Messer. They both get around Scott McDonald in the 44 car there on those older tires. So that's definitely, it's showing that those fresher tires definitely do mean something here. It's going to be interesting to see if we do get a late race caution. Those drivers that stayed out on track, if they're going to come down pit road and take that extra set. A little bit of a wiggle there for the one car of Messer, but he holds on to it, loses just a little bit of track position, but they're still chasing down that 7 car. Looks like Belke in the 24 on fresher tires going to get down and around. Kopeck using that high line. He's going to come and try and get himself a lap back. The 16 car, the first car, 1 lap down momentarily. Crosses, there it is. The 16 car back on the tail end of the longest lap. Doing it the hard way, too, racing around the leader. And Kyle holding on. He's got himself about a 14.5 second lead here over Jeff Brown, and Jeff Brown, I do believe, still has to make that final pit stop. Oh, Kyle Casagrande missing the commitment cone. May very well be a penalty on that one. We'll take a look at Jeff Brown here on the 27. See if he's going to stay out, maybe lead himself a lap. There he is. Nope, just kidding. Brent Roy, it looks like, got on around. So that was a close call for sure.
Yeah, no lap led this time around for Jeff Brown, like last year at Bristol. So he'll have to try for that another time. But yeah, I don't know if the commitment cone, if that's a penalty under green or if it only is under yellow. So we'll have to check on that. But up front, Brent Roy currently leading. We're gonna have to see what the margin ends up being here as they cross by. Actually, Ryan Messer's falling back, and we've got a yellow. I think it might be Ryan Messer.
Yeah, I saw Messer having some connection issues here. There you can see the RKM setup shop number 9 of Ricker pointed in the wrong direction. So that's going to bring out our second caution flag here tonight and another opportunity to pull up the U-House Racing Design instant replay. And we'll find out exactly why it is we're under caution here. We'll back up the tapes and take a little look-see here. And you can see kind of frustrating when you get into an incident like that where the driver just kind of sits there and you wait and you know they're going to be all right because it's a video game, but frustrating. You kind of sit there, let the exhales go out, and gather it back up. And there you can see, looks like something might have broke on that 9 car. And there you can see a shot from the 7 car to send him on around. It was really hard to see. Definitely heard something go kaboom in that machine, but it's hard to tell what exactly it was.
Yeah, and that's the wrong place for that to happen. It's right going into turn 1 here. And there you see him, sliding there and kind of snapping around like that. Yeah, I think we just had Ryan Messer's being scored in second. I think it was just a transponder issue, we'll call it, with the number 1. So no issue for Ryan Messer there, but the number 9 of Jason Ricker, tough break for him. We've seen him have some solid runs and kind of run into some issues near the end. Coming down for pit stops once again, and it looks like everyone coming down for fresh rubber for this last 14 laps. A 14-lap shootout coming up here shortly, and actually it'll probably be about a 12-lap shootout once we go back to green. So let's see what happens here. Zane Farrell going out of the pits right now in the 14, and I believe he might be one of the last cars on the lead lap. No, we got several that are on the lead lap still here. I'm interested in seeing who was the first car lap down, if it was indeed Regan Parent. So we'll see how things shake out here very shortly. Brent Roy and Ryan Messer, I believe they stayed out.
Yeah, we had about 6 or 7, maybe 8 or 9 cars stay out on track. I believe Zane Farrell was actually the first car off of pit road with those 4 fresh tires, and he's all the way back in P12. So Farrell, Kopech, Ship, McDonald, and on back. Those guys all came down pit road. Kyle Casagrande, Jason Ricker still down there getting some repairs done. The 44 coming back down to try and get some of that virtual sheet metal knocked back out. So up front, going to be Brent Roy, Ryan Messer, Evan Bollier, Kenny Kibbe, Steve Daddio, the top 5. Matt Janowski, John Peters, Corey Casagrande, Brandon Newhouse, and Cody LeBlanc going to be the top 10. And man, oh man, we're going to get that restart, like you said, with about 12 laps to go. And here on Verdane TV, in the iRacing world, the sim racing world, anything can happen. We saw that happen Tuesday night with the Liberty Racing Series Super Speedway Series, kicking things off with a 500-mile race at Daytona. We saw a car that spent 120 laps at Daytona, 1 lap down, come back and win the race. Getting the lap back the hard way, racing around the leaders, and getting the right time caution to get that track position. So definitely keep an eye out. Not quite Daytona, Super Speedway, or anything like that here at Kansas, but anything can happen in racing. Anything can happen in the sim racing world as well.
Yeah, definitely anything can happen. And my short-term memory failed me there, but Farrell, Kopech, and the Ship brothers, remember, they had that fresh set of tires still in the pits. So probably not as soon as they wanted to come in. They were really only on, I think the first set of new tires that they had for like 4 laps. But you never know. That 4 laps of fresher tires in some of these leaders might pay off near the end if they can move up fast enough. So I'll be watching that 14, the 16, the 48, and the 04 here shortly when we go back to green, and confirmed Regan Parent back on the lead lap in 17th spot.
So you can bet that 17 car has proven himself fast all night long, driving almost all the way up through the field earlier on before getting collected up in an earlier race incident. Going to do everything he can to try and gain best points possible throughout the evening here tonight. very close to Kenny Kibbe, 1 point behind Kibbe coming into tonight's race, and he's got a little bit of cushion now over Evan Bollier. He's got 8 points over P3, but Bollier having a solid run up in the top 5, almost in the top 3. Kibbe's up there as well. Corey Casagrande having himself a good run. You can bet parents seeing that, as crew chief's telling him he wants to get up towards the front and make sure that he really doesn't lose a lot of points to these guys running good up in the top 5, top 10.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens here as we're about to go back to green, possibly the last restart, although we see some things get a little interesting sometimes towards the end of these races. They are going right down in the apron, and yeah, we'll see what happens now. Brent Roy getting the advantage on Ryan Messer, Evan Bollier in third, Kenny Kibbe fourth, Steve Daddio fifth. We've seen all of these drivers contending up front this entire race. So we'll see what happens here. Ryan Messer on the outside, probably the first time today we've seen him using that line. And Matt Shanoski cracking his way into the top 5, trying to get by Steven Daddio. They remain side by side, all over the place here, Paul, with 10 laps to go.
These drivers know that we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, getting down to the end of it. They want to get up towards the front, have themselves good points tonight, get themselves a little bit of trophy, and win the Beer Bash 65, brought to us by the Reverie Brewing Company. Be sure to check those guys out over on Facebook as well. Look at this dogfight for first. We're 3 wide almost. Messer all the way down on the bottom. Roy all the way up on the top. They're going to go side by side now for second. They're both still chasing Evan Bollier in that 56 car, but there's 4 or 5 more cars in the picture that could win this race.
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on here, so anything can happen. Wow, we're pretty much going almost 3 wide here. Matt Shanoski's having an amazing run in that 42. As he goes inside, he's up to third. Now he's going under Ryan Messer for second. We haven't seen this kind of speed in a long time from that 42 car. I know Matt sat out all of last NEP season, so great to see him having a great run. Steven Daddio, I said kind of said don't count him out, and that's what we're not doing right now, as he's working the outside here. Everyone racing pretty cleanly. I hope I don't jinx it here, but a lot of great racing going on right now.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5 wide racing here at Kansas Speedway. Corey Casagrande proving my unpopular opinion that every single race car should be matte black. New colors for that 7 car this week, and having himself a heck of a run, showing that he's fast here at Kansas, trying to break back in to that top 5, trying to get around Kitty there in that 4 car, and he's got the 3 car U-House all the way up on the high side. Daddio's up there in the 99. How about him moving back up into the top 5 county line?
Yeah, definitely can't count him out. Brent Roy has backslid to 9th spot. Kind of crazy because we have the leader earlier on. But Evan Bollier now up front, and he's putting a little bit of a gap between himself and Matt Shanoski. Not too much of one, but a decent one. And yeah, got a lot of great battling going on. Steven Daddio back up in the 3rd spot. Things have changed quickly here at Kansas Speedway as the laps continue to wind down.
Big push out of that 7 car, going all the way up, almost sliding that 4 up into the outside wall. Might have gotten a little piece of it. You can see Kibbe sliding back just a little bit. Brent Roy trying to make a comeback on the high side. Very loose in that back end of that 26 car, but he's going to make it stick, try and hold on to that position in front of Kopeck and try and chase down Belke. You can see the 24 car a little bit cattywampus there in the back bumper. Maybe somebody was trying to get down and around him. Hey, there's some dents on the 16 car. I wonder if they match, but high 5 from Barney in the flag stand last time by. 5 laps to go here with the Revere Brewing Company Beer Badge 65 at Kansas Speedway. They touched the 48 and the 4. The 4 holds on to it. How about that car control for Kibbe?
Great save by the 4, but he's going to lose several spots, and now he's behind Reagan Parent, his closest championship contender right now early in the season. Might be some conversations about that after this race between Kibbe and I believe that was Brian Ship. But the Ship brothers moving their way through the field on the slightly fresher tires. We were talking about that, and don't look now, but Zane Farrell is up to 4th as we've got a battle for the lead. Matt Shanoski going under Evan Bollier in the number 56.
Side by side, crossing the stripe. Can barely tell who's going to cross the line. Looks like the 56 is going to take that lap, but Shanoski going to come back around. 3 laps to go. Shanoski down on the bottom side. Bollier up on the high side in the 56. St. Farrell has a great seat, a front row seat, if you will. From P3, he's going to try and stay on that podium, try and close in on this side-by-side battle for second. In behind the 99 of Daddio, tonight's pole sitter, still in the top 5, back in the top 5, running P4 with Corey Casagrande, holding on to the top 5, but for how long? Popsicle sticks in the air as we cross the stripe. 2 laps to go from Kansas.
Laps are winding down. I have a feeling we're going to see a new winner this year. Has all of our previous winners, well, Corey Casagrande is still in the mix in 5th spot, but besides him, all the others have really slipped back. Brent Roy, Ryan Messer outside the top 10 now. Zane Farrell using those slightly newer tires to work the outside in the number 14. We could have a battle to the end here as Stephen Daddio and Evan Bollier continue to battle for 3rd. Here comes Farrell shooting to the inside. And white flag is out. Farrell led by about 1,000th, maybe 100th of a second there on that the stripe that time by. Shanoski trying to fight back. They make slight contact there. Shanoski's in the wall.
Shanoski into the outside wall. Zane Farrell going to hold on to it. Does not have a win, I believe, in the NEP series. Has himself a 3/4 of a second lead over Steve Daddio and Corey Casagrande in P3. No challengers for the leader. The 14 car of Zane Farrell going to come home in victory lane. Steve Daddio finishing in second, and Mr. Corey Casagrande with that matte black race car finishing top 3. Evan Bollier going to finish in 4th. And Austin Belke, how about that? That 24 car breaking into the top 5 for a 5th place finish.
Wow, a whole lot happened those last few laps. I don't even remember how to describe it. Dylan Kopeck with a solid 6th place. Reagan Parent up to 7th in the end, and probably will take that point lead now. Brent Roy in 8th. Bobby Shipp with his first top 10, I believe. And Matt Shanoski still holds on for a top 10 finish.
Ryan Messer right outside the top 10. Ran up front most of the night. Finishes in 11th here tonight. The other Shipp, Brian Shipp, finishes 12th. Brandon Uhouse in the 3 car finishes in 13th. Kenny Kibbe back in 14th. John Peters back in 15th. Jeff Brown, Cody LeBlanc, John Miller rounding out the top 18 or so. And you can see the rest of the field there. 20 drivers on the lead lap. Ryan Salvatore, John Miller, Scott McDonald, the top 20. Kyle Casagrande down 1 lap. Mike Hopkins down 2. And Jason Ricker, Ryan Libby having some earlier issues throughout the night. They're going to finish or round out the field rather in 23rd and 24th. But tonight's winner going to be that 14 car, Zane Farrell. We're going to talk to the top 3 drivers here, get a little post-race action going on, and it's almost crazy to think. It's almost weird to say that we're going to go down to victory lane and talk to the driver of the number 14 car, Zane Farrell, with the victory here at Kansas. Zane, congratulations, man. Good win.
Hey, thanks, Paul. I mean, I thought it was over when we didn't pit after the first caution, because we dropped like a rock, threw the boat anchor out, and I thought we were done. But when that caution come out, I couldn't think of better time. I'm glad I saved a set of tires for the end.
And that took pretty much answered my next question. That set of tires down on pit road, very valuable there in the latter part of the race. And as that caution flag flew, and you saw there was really only 3 other drivers that stayed out under that first caution there on lap 16. Was that kind of going through your mind? Did you know that you were going to have to take it easy and maybe use that set of tires later on in the race?
Yeah, whenever the first caution come out, I thought they would have held up a little bit better, but obviously they didn't, because it was pretty bad. It was getting pretty bad to drive, and when I made the green flag stop, I was kind of upset, and I figured, well, we still got a set. Maybe we might luck out and get a caution with 15 to go, and I can throw the last set on and go for it. But it couldn't have come at a better time, because whenever it come out, it was like sign from God. So.
Still in the field at the end, extra set here in the 14 camp, and got to give you the opportunity here to thank anybody that makes it happen. Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
I got to thank some of my sponsors, all my sponsors, my mom, dad, my wife, Lacey, my sister, Zoe. I got to thank, I'm actually looking at the car here because I can't remember who I got to thank. Kess Grade Builders, YRD Designs, Spencer Davis Motorsports, Max Industrial. That's about all. That's all I can really think of.
Absolutely. Dominating performance here towards the end, using that extra set of tires to come home on top, and going to get a little celebratory action. And I imagine there's going to be a little bit of trash talking on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Keep your eyes peeled on Twitter.
100%. Tonight's winner, Zane Farrell. Congratulations, Zane. Go celebrate.
Thanks, buddy.
And we're going to slide it a little bit further on down pit road, try and catch up with that second place finisher of Steve Daddio, the 99 driver. And it's always hard to catch up with these drivers, but I believe you've got him down there, Aaron.
Yeah, I believe we have Steve Daddio, second place finish. There he is. Steve Daddio started from the pole, kind of slipped back there a little bit, but made quite a resurgence there at the end.
Yeah, I was just trying to make it exciting. No,
Well,
I had hit the wall there early, and this place is very aero dependent. And after that, I just kind of took it easy on the tires. I didn't really know how the race was going to play out. And then we caught that caution early. I had some repairs to make and then some work to do after I had slipped to the back there. But, got a little lucky with some more cautions coming through the field there. And at the end, it seemed like the sun went down and the track changed quite a bit to my liking because I like running the high side and it was fast up there. So I made a lot of ground up there.
Yeah, we saw you set the pace there in qualifying and practice. We're kind of wondering if you were kind of saving your stuff there, and it looked like you did. How do you feel about that? I mean, just coming home with a second place finish after the start to the year. I guess it's been a pretty solid one. Good points night, I guess you could say.
Yeah, no, we could do better. I've been making a lot of mistakes early. I don't know if I just need to practice a little bit more or what it is, but I just don't feel like I'm really in the seat for the first few laps. And then, like I said, you make a little mistake like that, hitting the wall here at Kansas, it really throws the anchor out, the parachute out, and you end up sliding back. But yeah, I can't complain about P2. Zane, he was flying. He was flying up front, flying at the beginning of the race, and had the tires and the stuff at the end. So congrats to him. It was a lot of fun running.
Yeah, congratulations on that second place finish. Who got you there?
Reverie Brewing, title sponsor for the race, and I think you guys noticed I got a new paint job. Thank you, YRD. Brandon does a really good job with the car, but Reverie Brewing, brewery out of Newtown, buddy, opened up not too long ago, made it through COVID and all that nonsense, and doing really well over there. So he wanted to jump in, I wanted to support, and I really, really appreciate that. And Daddy-O's Auto Parts, as usual, my dad's shop. I know he's out there watching somewhere. I'm sure I'll talk to him at some point about it. But just a great run from the team. It was a lot of fun. This place is really cool. I can't wait to watch the broadcast.
All right, that's Seymour, Connecticut's Stephen Daddio in second place, and I believe Paul, you've caught up with our third place finisher, Mr. Casagrande.
Indeed, I have another Connecticut driver from the Dirty Springs, and showing everybody my unpopular opinion that all race cars should be flat black. Solid run for the 7CT car. Did you think you were coming home with a podium when you came home tonight, or when you came into the race tonight?
No, I thought we'd be okay for like a top 10 maybe, and after that first long green flag run, we were chasing down the top three. And after that point, I was kind of like, all right, maybe we got something. I was glad it didn't come down to like a green white checkered on stickers because I didn't fire off that good. I needed like 4 or 5 laps to get going, and we made up a bunch of spots there on that last little 10-15 lap run. I think we restarted 9th or so and finished 3rd.
With a great victory, getting a good shot of that new paint scheme there. Is that a little preview for 2023 potentially?
Hold on, I'm still laughing.
Only live.
it was not me. Just so we have that clear. I hope so, man. I expect big things as I always do, but obviously what we do is really, really tough, and we race against a lot of stout people. But hopefully we can get our schedule out here in the next month or so and start chipping away at the races.
And that's what it's all about. Solid points night here tonight, coming in the top 10 in points. Solid top 3 finish here. Who gets it done for you? Who gets you to and from the virtual track and the real track?
Just thanks to Wicked Power Sports, Charlie Performance, Burlington Sock Puppets, Stafford Pool, Casagrande Builders, crew chief app didn't work tonight, so I had to manually do everything myself. So that's another pat on the back for me. I can't wait to get the real season going. But we got a long NEP season still.
And be able to catch every one of those races here live on Thursday nights on Vidane TV. Corey Casagrande finishing third here tonight. Good run here tonight. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
And a quick and easy race here at Kansas. 65 laps up, 65 laps down, and we've got ourselves a new winner here this season. Zane Farrell coming home with the victory. Steve Daddio, Corey Casagrande, the top five, and it starts to really tighten up that points battle that we've started working on here this season. But couple of days off. Just kidding. Tomorrow night, the big TCM 300. Tomorrow night here live on Vidane TV. Sunday, doing a little Liberty Racing League podcast action. Going to be talking to the league owner, Wes Hogue, as well as this past Tuesday night's Daytona 500 or Vidane.net 500 winner at Daytona. The first 500-mile race we actually called here on Vidane TV. That was a lot of fun. Be sure to check that out in the video on demand when you're all done checking out this NEP race here as well. Liberty Racing League coming back next Tuesday night. Wednesday, Tim's Corner Motorsports bringing us Tim's Corner Live, episode number 85. And then next Thursday night, right back here with the New England, Pennsylvania Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series. And we're going to be doing it live. We will catch you on the flip side from the Showtime, or from the Vidane TV broadcast booth. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr., Aaron Creed. We'll catch you on the flip side when we do. We are going to be doing it live.